just disturbing. I mean, there's no other way I could explain it. We send our children to school, and we think that they're in a safe place.
Back now with shocking cases of broken trust tonight. We as parents, we put our faith in schools, teachers, and coaches to keep our kids safe, to protect our children. Doesn't always happen, folks. Our next case out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Boys basketball coach accused of trying to force a 14-year-old girl to perform oral sex on players on his team. The coach allegedly confessed to police the young girl wanted a job as a manager on the team. And police say when she refused to give the 14 and 15-year-old players oral sex, the coach got a little physical, pushed her into one of the players, into his lap. Now he's facing felony charges. Sheila Raja, I want you to tell me if I'm right or wrong here. I think it's just a bad idea to take a 19-year-old and make him a coach of 14 and 15-year-olds in a school environment and put him in that whole mix. And this is what I want to read to you from the police affidavit is this coach's alleged excuse here. He stated when he hangs out with male students, he forgets that they're 14 and 15 years old. Sheila, is it just a bad mix here, putting a 19-year-old in charge of 14 and 15-year-olds? He can't figure out that, hey, it's wrong, I'm the teacher, they're the students?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, there's such a high prevalence in our culture of sexual assault of all different types that, you know, I think the thing to remember in this case is this girl is courageous. I am amazed and impressed. She came forward. She said this is not okay. She talked about it, and I just hope that her family, her friends, the administration support her and, you know, try to be healing and not hurtful and not re-traumatizing. I really hope people stand by her because she's a great example, I think, of fighting back.
Absolutely. Great strength by this girl. Yeah. She did all the right things. She said no. She stood up to him. And then when she finally forced her way out of that office, because what the coach did, and you're reading this, he tried to block her and keep her from getting out of that office. It got that physical. He grabbed her by the back of the head, folks. We're not talking about just saying, hey, do this, do this. No, they trapped her in the office. She was strong, absolutely. Stephanie, here's the thing, though. Yes. You know, and the broken trust, obvious from the coach here because he's 19 years old. But is it go even higher? Is the administration breaking our trust by putting a 19-year-old in that position? I'm not excusing it, but is it foreseeable here? You put a 19-year-old boy in a situation coaching 14, 15-year-old boys and in charge of 14 and 15-year-old girls. Bad mix?
I mean, I don't know if it's a bad mix. I think it depends on the personality, but clearly the rules are not in place enough and the expectations are not given to that young man to tell him how to behave. And I can't believe the attitude of the boys will be boys attitude and the justifications. And, you know, yes, it goes up to the top. At some point, we have to take responsibility for the way that people act at a job.
Dom, who's breaking our trust here, Dom?
Vinny, I disagree with you.
Clearly, Vinny.
Dom first.
It is wrong to put a 19-year-old in here. It's absolutely faulty. Common sense. Think of yourself when you were 19 in this situation. The average 19-year-old in here, you're asking for trouble. You're putting a guy in unsupervised like this. You're not going to be over top of him watching. Why do something like that? Are they that desperate?
See, absolutely. Mark, go ahead.
Now I disagree with both you and him.
Okay,
this is not about being 19. The guy didn't, you know, bring in a little weed into the high school. The kid involved himself in a potential rape. That is not a 19-year-old issue.
It is about being 19. Let's not go off on all these fanciful things. It's wrong, whatever age it is. But if you put it, to Vinny's point, you put a 19-year-old in here, you're accelerating the possibility of inappropriate behavior.
I think it's much more foreseeable. I think this is a case where the administration, who ultimately is in charge of who are we going to hire to oversee our children, puts a 19-year-old there. Bad choice. We got much more. The panel stays with us. Straight ahead tonight on Prime News.